And then there's a brand new announcement live right now. It is Jupiter Product Alpha. Some things that you should know about what's going on. First and foremost, xStocks on Jupiter. If you don't know, now you know. You can take your xStocks into Jupiter Lend, borrow stables against them for as little as 0.1. I think it's up to 0.2% now. But 20 bips to borrow stables is nonsense. It's crazy. We have a $20,000 rewards hub campaign active right now, and you can get a 1.1x boost for completing the lessons on Jupiter Academy, all the while earning X points. A very simple strategy. This is not financial advice. Think about it if you'd like. Go get some SPY, X, right? Just get that as an index fund to get some broad exposure to the equity markets in the US. Deposit into Jupiter Lend, borrow out JupUSD, throw that into the juice loop, and all of a sudden you have a yield-bearing kind of SPY strategy. It's not financial advice. You can go check that out yourself. Do your own research and so forth. But xStocks on Jupiter, this is the alpha. I don't know how long it's going to last. Go get it now. It is a very lucrative strategy. The second bit of alpha here, Jupiter Verified is crushing. Brand new website, beautiful, beautiful website. On-chain data, AI signals, community reviews distilled into a single human-reviewed data layer. This is one of those things that's not sexy, but is absolutely essential for how we scale. Being on-chain is a dark forest. It is terrifying. There's so much scary shit happening and so much misinformation, so many scams that you have to be aware of. And Verified is a way to actually have high-quality, human-curated content for those tokens. When I talk to asset issuers who are coming on-chain for the first time, they lose their shit at Verified. They're like, this is exactly what we need. How do people know that it's the real XYZ token and not something else? How do they get key updates about us? And lastly, don't forget about the Jupiter Prediction Bot. You can join clans and trade on real-world events with your friends live at any time. You can scan to see a little QR code to get started. I think in the first 2 months, there are no fees as well. Also, a great referral program, so you can bring your friends on. The more they use it, the more you benefit as well. Definitely encourage people to check this out, the Jupiter Predict Bot. It is super fun. The last little bit of alpha, we're going to bring on the big homie himself, Mr. Wei Liang. What's going on, Wei Liang? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Yeah.
I'm doing well. Wei Liang, for the people who don't know, who are you? What do you do around these parts?
I'm the lead engineer of the Ultra Trading Engine. So the Ultra Trading Engine basically refers to like the engine behind all the swap that you do on Jupiter. So market orders, limit orders, DCA orders, all this is like the Ultra Trading Engine.
And recently, you shipped something new for the people. What did you ship out here?
So the latest thing that we shipped is the second version, the new version of DCA, or dollar cost average orders. So we always had DCA V1, and there were some limitations to it. So we decided, like during Cat Lampo, that's when the planning began, and then we're like, okay, we need to do a V2.
And why did we need an updated version here? It's been a little bit old. Obviously, people have been using it for that time. Many people should know dollar cost averaging is the best way to enter positions and build positions over time by buying things at regular intervals rather than just kind of all-in-one shotting at random points. Talk a little bit about like what the user feedback was and kind of what you're thinking was what we could do better on DCA V2.
We started hearing more and more complaints of like our users were getting front run by people who run bots because all the orders and all the information was stored on chain. So all these malicious actors, they could just read the chain, predict when your DCA order was going to land and buy before you and front run your order so that you're buying at a worse price. Right. So that was one of the main things that we wanted to solve in the new version. And on top of that, like the V1 architecture kind of limited the tokens that we could support. For example, like it wouldn't be able to support tokenized assets such as xStocks, pre-stocks, RWAs that you mentioned previously. And there were also many complaints such as, you have a minimum of $50 that you can place an order. Like that was a very common thing. And all these things we took in consideration when we built the V2. And I mean, the current version of V2 eliminates all of these problems.
And so what is actually new in DCA V2?
The first thing you're going to notice when you try DCA V2 is the price range in V1. You can set like, I only want my DCA order to execute within this price range. So in V1, this price range is based on the pool rate, which is basically means like X token against Y token. But in V2, it's based on the USD price, which we think is a more intuitive approach to this. So it's probably a better user experience. Secondly, as I mentioned, it can support a wider range of tokens. So any tokens that you want, like xStocks, pre-stocks, there's a campaign on xStocks, by the way, you might want to check that out. So yeah, if you use DCA, you also qualify for rewards in the rewards hub. And the issue of like the minimum size that I was talking about, like $50 for V1, we reduced it to $10 in V2 because it's more efficient, so we can actually afford to reduce the minimum size. So we have removed all these issues because it's backed by the Ultra Trading Engine, which basically means like less slippage, better transaction lending, MVV protection. So all this is like built into DCA V2.
Wow, incredible. Token 22 is T22 for people who don't know. It's a particular token standard. The normal one is SPL tokens. Those are like the vast majority of tokens. Token 22 enables additional features like transfer hooks and kind of dividends and clawbacks and all these other things like that. So basically, a lot of the tokens, especially like RWA tokens, some stablecoins, some like kind of cool yield products, use this new standard for a bunch of different reasons. And now you can buy those as well. All right, so that's what's new. How does it actually work? Especially this kind of like stealth mode idea. Can you explain a little bit more about how DCA V2 actually works under the hood?
Right, so I mentioned that the issue with users front running the orders is because they could read the orders on chain. So what we have done here is we have brought the order information off chain, so that now malicious actors could no longer like read it from chain and easily front run you. So basically the idea is it's off chain. We try to make it as private as possible to prevent people from front running your orders, and it's powered by Ultra.
The best. Yeah, I think that this really matters, right? Like being on chain is itself a dark forest, right? There's a lot of kind of malicious people out there that if they can take a penny from you, they're going to try and take the penny from you. And this is a way that we kind of like keep users safe and ensure that you actually do get the best price without getting front run at all. So, sometimes people think about like off chain as being itself scary. In this case, it's actually like a way to protect you. I think especially as more kind of like retail and normal traders come on chain, and as more people get educated about the types of assets that you want to buy, and critically, as there are more assets that you would actually want to buy on a consistent basis, as those assets come on chain, I think things like DCA become even more important and will continue to grow, especially now that it has these fancy new features. And then there's a brand new announcement live right now. It is DCA into xStocks. You're supposed to finish the sentence. But you can tell we did not rehearse this. DCAing into xStocks, again, this is like, I have DCA set up with my traditional brokers. I'm not telling you to buy anything in particular, but I am telling you that when you buy, you should use limit orders and you should use DCA. You should not use market orders most of the time. It's just not a smart strategy. And now you can build your stock portfolio fully on chain with xStocks, with Jupiter, and DCA over here. I think this is a giant and important development here, which is great. Wei Liang, thanks for coming on. Thanks for all the good work, obviously. And we will catch you very soon. Appreciate you, buddy.